Probably the only chance I'll ever get to be a high roller. I was on my way back from Clementine's, getting close to the pier area of the beach, when I heard a pop, 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 pop. Good morning 55ers and welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Joseph and this channel is Life After 55. And look, I am getting ready to go on, if you will, my first real adventure in my new house slash car slash house. It's loaded down. I've got electronics, I've got scuba gear in there, I've got clothes and a go bag in there. I've got my bed platform set up with my pillow and sleeping bag. I got a couple things on it right now, but that'll all move when it comes time to sleep. I've got scuba gear down here. I've got miscellaneous items down here, clothes and laundry and cooking stuff. I've got food items down here. I've got my 12-volt fridge right now, which is plugged into my Jackery back there. I have something ordered from Amazon. Let me show you real quick what happened. So I don't know if you can see the plastic part on that right there and right there. It got melted because I did not pay attention. My exhaust pipe sits right there. The toolbox I had was made of plastic and it got melted on my trip from Georgia back up here to the Nashville area. So I have on order from Amazon a piece that'll go into my hitch, which will actually come out, lift up 6 inches, and then come back out. And it's just a 6-inch riser. Then I'll be able to put the basket and move it up 6 inches, get it away from my exhaust, and then I'll be able to put something on the back without fear of melting it. So I'm gonna wait until I get to my destination where I have that part ordered and it's being shipped to. And then I'll be able to get me a big like igloo cooler, something not expensive, something I can tie down there. I want to keep the dirty clothes in there and the laundry soap in there and other miscellaneous inexpensive items in case somebody breaks in and wants to steal my dirty clothes. Let them have them. If they want my laundry soap, that's fine, whatever. Yeah, you know guys, I'm pumped up about this. The van life thing didn't work out initially. I went to the car, got it built up, and now I'm ready for my first trip in the car. I'm heading up to Michigan. I've got a friend that lives up there that I was stationed with in Korea and in Las Vegas. Haven't seen him in 10, 12, 14 years. I don't even know for sure. So looking forward to getting up there and seeing him and his family and getting to see Michigan, which I've never been to before. So come along for the adventure. I'm not going to bore you with putting the camera up. Good morning. Well, I made it to Michigan. Made it last night actually. Staying at my buddy's place. This is his house over here. He's got a pop-up camper and he offered me a place in the house to sleep. He offered me the camper to pop up and sleep with air conditioning, but I said no. I built the car out to sleep in, and you know, last night was the first night I got to sleep in it. So you can see here I got everything out of the way, full access to my sleeping compartment, and I slept in the bed last night and it was perfectly fine. This is my first real adventure out in the car. You know, I've gone scuba diving, I've gone on some hikes, I've umpired some softball tournaments, and I've done those things, but this is the first time I'm getting out and actually adventuring out and seeing some part of the US that I've never seen before. Today is the start of my second full day in Michigan, as it's Friday and I got here Wednesday evening. Yesterday didn't do all that much. Really just kind of hung out with him and his wife and his kids, and just caught up with what was going on in his life and what was going on in my life, and reminiscing about some old times when we were stationed together in Korea and in Las Vegas. Didn't do all that much. Today he has to work, so I'm about an hour south of him. Actually, I'm in South Haven. If you take a look, sand, water for as far as you can see, and I'll get you a better view of that coming up. But I'll tell you what, if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't think this was a lake. You would think it was the ocean. But anyway, I'm gonna spend some time out here just cruising around. Already had a little bit of an issue today. Had a little bit of a blowout. Yep, I guess that's what happens when you buy a pair of sandals and you don't wear them for about 15 years, and then you put them on and you take your first steps and the soles completely fall off. It appears that there's a channel right here. Turn around and get a view. There's a bunch of houses and whatnot down that way. It appears there's a channel here that leads out right into Lake Michigan, right where that boat is heading out, way out there. And at the end of this little walkway, there's a lighthouse. What's really interesting, as there's people walking down to the lighthouse and walking back and jogging, of course, is the sign. Warning, the Army Corps of Engineers maintains this structure. This structure is not designated for public access. Proceed at your own risk. What do you think? Think we should risk it? I've never been too afraid of taking risks, so let's see what this walk has all the way down, and let's get to the lighthouse and check it out. Guess they don't want people jumping off the pier. Water seems pretty shallow right here and very clear. Looks like it's only a couple feet deep, and you can see the bottom. You can see some of the algae on the bottom. Then if you come to this side, you can't see where the bottom is. So this side is pretty murky. This is the channel that the boats were coming out. There's another pier on that side where people are walking and riding their bikes down. And the water looks clear on the other side of the channel. Looks murky here, but it's definitely pretty clear on this side here. You can see the difference. down there, you can see how clear it is. You can still see it's probably 6 to 8 feet. And I can see the rock straight down.
When you get gray hair, I want your dad game to be up there. Dad joke.
And there's a lighthouse at the end of the pier. Well, I'll tell you guys, like I said earlier, if you take a look at this lake and you didn't know any better, you'd swear it was the ocean, because this lake is huge. It is water from one end all the way out to as far as the eye can see. Well, it would appear that we have little boats and bigger boats coming through the channel out into the lake. So according to the guy who's renting the kayaks and the paddle boards, the water is going to be about 7 to 8 feet deep out where the pylons are, and that's the local swimming area. Just means the boats and stuff can't come inside, but you can actually swim past the pylon. So we're going to take a little swim. Got my mask, snorkel, got my fins, and we're going to take a little bit of a swim and see what's out there. Well, the water is a little cold, that's for sure. Of course, it's probably not as cold as the Pacific Ocean at Huntington Beach in December, which is when I learned how to surf. So, time to get down, get the body under, and just get used to it. Well, I made it to the first pylon, and I'm just on my tippy toes. I'm 5'10", so it's probably only about 5 foot right here. Go out a little bit further. See what's out here. Well, so there you have it, folks. A little bit of a swim in Lake Michigan. Went all the way out to where I walked to earlier, out to the lighthouse. Right past there, that's where the boats are coming into and coming out of, so I didn't want to go any further than that. Saw a bunch of schools, these little tiny fish swimming around, but didn't see anything bigger than that. When I was walking on the pier, I saw some bigger fish actually jumping out of the lake, but I don't know what they were. But anyway, it's a nice cool swim. The water was pretty clear for the most part, and yeah, my first time in Michigan, my first time in Lake Michigan, and got to go for a little swim. So if you take a walk up the canal where the boats are coming out, you hit the marina, and just past the marina here in South Haven, Michigan, there's a whole bunch of shops, and I was getting a little hungry. So recommended to me by a local is a place called Clementine's. Right on the corner of Center Street and Phoenix Street, Clementine. So I'm gonna take a walk over there. I'm gonna check that out and see if they've got anything good to eat. So I just got done eating at Clementine's as suggested, and the question is then, how was it? Well, I ordered the high roller. Probably the only chance I'll ever get to be a high roller. The high roller is nothing more than a French dip, but it was good. I give it 2 thumbs up. I give it a very high rating, 9 out of 10. The bread was wonderful. The au jus was excellent. The roast beef was piled high, sliced thin, very tasty, and definitely recommend Clementine's if you're down here in South Haven or up here in South Haven. Then definitely highly recommend Clementine's for lunch. Dinner menu looks good, and yeah, I definitely give it 2 thumbs up again, 9 out of 10. The only thing I would have marked it down on was the seasoned curly fries. They were curly and they were good, but there was no seasoning on them. They were just curly fries. Nothing seasoned about them, but still tasty. So once again, Clementine's, South Haven, Michigan, highly recommend if you make your way here. Well, I've got about 2 hours left in my parking location, and then I've got to get back, so I actually don't plan on doing much more while I'm here. Well, 55ers, I guess somebody did not decide to live their best life. The scene you see behind me is the police setting up barriers. There's police tape here. I was on my way back from Clementine's, getting close to the pier area of the beach, when I heard a pop, 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 and people running from the beach, hiding behind cars. Sounded like gunfire to me. Obviously it sounded like gunfire to them. They were taking cover. I moved closer. You know, I'm in swim trunks. I'm not armed right now, so not much I could do, but I moved closer to see if I could do something, do anything. But by the time I got to the pier, it was already over. Evidently an individual took one life, maybe more, before turning the gun on himself and taking his own life. So what you see behind me, they're setting up barriers right now. Police tape is up, and right out there where you can see the lighthouse where I was just swimming a couple hours ago, that's where the shooting took place. I made contact with one of the law enforcement officers and asked him if they had a dive team come, and he said they did, because naturally I have my scuba gear in my car, my tanks are full, and you know, I just let them know if they needed me to go down. I was willing to go down for them, but they did say they had divers coming because there's a possibility of the gun had gone in, there's a possibility that a body actually went in. So look, don't know what else to say. You know, this is a tragedy. Wish stuff like this would not take place. This is definitely not living your best life, okay? I don't know what could happen in somebody's life that they decide to take the life of somebody else, that they decide to take their own life. It just doesn't make sense to me. I've seen a lot in my 23-year career. I've seen a lot of dead bodies over in the desert, lost troops. I just don't know what would make somebody do something like this. It's sad. You know, if you're feeling down, you're feeling like, you know, there's no hope for you, there is. There's people you can talk to. You know, talk to a friend, let them know you're hurting. Get online, find a helpline somewhere, talk to somebody that you don't know. If you can't talk to somebody you know, there are people that are willing to help. This is not the answer, all right? I'm gonna leave it here for now. Get out and live your best life.